Welcome back, guys, to the College Treehouse for another video. Today, we are going to be ranking high school subjects based on how enjoyable they are. We have 6 different tiers. The top one is Time Flies. It's the class that you love. It's a class with all your friends. You really have fun. Then we have Entertaining. It's pretty fun. You like the subject. Below that is Enjoyable, but with the right people. Then we have Boring classes, but only enjoyable when you have a substitute. Below that, we're really getting into the bad tiers with Daydreaming, and the bottom tier is literally the worst that you can get. Alright, with me I have my co-host, Aarav.
What's up, guys? And let's just jump right into it. First up, we have art. I did not take art in high school, but I did in middle school, and I actually really enjoyed it. You could just talk all class, make some art. I remember making ceiling tiles in 8th grade, and I really enjoyed that. I would put that in enjoyable with friends. Mehmet, you took art in middle school, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun with the right people, and so I definitely say it's like enjoyable, but you have to have your friends in it.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, up next we have band. Band is another one. I never actually took band. I don't think either of us did. But from what I've heard, it's kind of fun if you're like doing the same instrument as your friends and you get to stand like next to them, play the same songs or whatever. I don't really know how it works. I don't remember. I've heard a lot of complaints about marching band, but I'd say like having the right people next to you and around you can make that enjoyable. I'd probably put it in the same tier as art.
Yep, enjoyable with friends. Bands, and I was in an orchestra, they require a lot of teamwork, and so being with the right people can really make a difference. Next up is biology. So bio can definitely be difficult for some people, but I don't think it's one of the less enjoyable of the academic classes. I feel like people like biology, and I enjoy biology because you got to understand systems with the relevance on each other. And it's not as brutal as chemistry. And so I'm going to put biology in the entertaining tier. I do think people learn a lot of new things for the first time. Aarav, what do you think?
Well, you're like a pre-med, so you're obviously biased towards it. I will say, I actually did enjoy that class just because like a lot of people on my high school tennis team were also taking that class with me, so I could just talk to them all class. So I would put it, honestly, if I were just doing this, I'd put it at like enjoyable with friends, but Mehmet, you want to put it up there, so we'll take your word for it.
Okay, so next up is ceramics. Ceramics, I also think, is one of those classes where, you know, it can be difficult if you're taking it for the first time, and especially if you make any mistakes, it could get you. You know, art is a little bit easier than ceramics, and so I think ceramics should be more in the boring category. Not because the content is boring, but because half of the class probably requires you to listen to your teacher or watch them do a demonstration, which is much less enjoyable than doing it yourself because there's a lot of safety stuff in like doing ceramics.
Okay, I've made some pots in ceramics before. Not like as a class, but I've done some like pot things with like the spinny wheel thing. And honestly, it's not my cup of tea. So personally, yeah, I'd agree with you, Matt. I put it to like the boring section. I'm not very good at it. That's probably why I find it boring.
Okay, now we have chem. Chem is very notorious because it's the first time that you're looking at science without like, you're looking at science like atoms and like molecules and things that like we don't see. And so it can be really difficult. The grading is usually hard. This is definitely going in the F tier. Not a fun place to be. You better get through it and get out.
Yeah, 100%. Like normal chemistry is bad, and if you take an AP class in that, even worse. So yeah, definitely, it's a hell on earth. Up next, we have choir. Choir was another one that I didn't take in high school, but I did in middle school. 6th and 7th grade, I took choir before switching to art in 8th grade. But yeah, I remember 7th grade choir, Mehmet. I was actually, we were in the same class. We'd have like coordinated bathroom breaks to get out of there. But yeah.
I know. We took... We would get up and get tissues like 8 times each class just to like move and not be in the same spot like singing. It was atrocious.
It was so bad.
I would definitely put this in the boring. I put this in the boring section.
Yeah. Like even though I was with you in that class, Matt, it was still boring. So it does not go up a tier. Alright, next we have drama. I've never done drama. The most acting I've done was in my freshman year English class, actually. We were reenacting Romeo and Juliet. I made an amazing Juliet, I will say. Got eyeliner and a wig. That was great. But yeah, I'd say drama can be fun, honestly. Like I find it entertaining, to be honest. Any thoughts, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, I also haven't taken drama, just being completely transparent with you guys, but it seems like it's a lot of fun and the people I've spoken to have really liked it. So let's go with entertaining.
Yeah, honestly, if I was better at acting, I would definitely put it up a tier, because like time can really fly when you're having fun.
Next up is geography. Unless you're in the 1% that really, really likes like geography and like anything related to like the earth, it is not a fun class. People find it boring. And I do not enjoy geography. I think it's a bunch of facts that you have to memorize. Personally, I'd be thinking about something else, and so I'm going to put it in the daydreaming session. Arav, I'm pretty sure you agree with me on this one too.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, we have some friends that would disagree, but we'll put it there. I think that's a consensus that the two of us can reach. So yeah. Anyway, next up is geometry. I really enjoyed geometry. I took high school geometry in 8th grade, yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I knew some of the people in that class. I got to like work with them, do like fun like triangle proofs or whatever. I don't remember, but I really enjoyed it. But I will say, like, a lot of people don't agree with that. Matt, I don't think. Actually, did you enjoy that class, Matt?
I was with a close friend in that class, and we would just laugh and fool around the whole time. So, but we still got A's. But most people are not nerds like us, and so I do think this does belong in the boring category. Being realistic, people don't like geometry. The proofs are boring, so it's going to be a boring class.
I think that like if you have the right friends, like we did, it can be enjoyable. And remember, it is our tier list, so I think we should put it in enjoyable, Matt, because you enjoyed it and I enjoyed it, so we'll put it there.
Okay, next is health. This is pretty straightforward. Health is boring. Nobody likes to take it, but it's not an actually hard class. You just take it and you pass it. So it's basically a daydreaming session. Let's be honest, in America, most people probably daydream during their health classes, considering all the problems we have in society. So let's just put it there and move on.
And next up we have history. That's just teacher dependent, but for me, definitely was another daydreaming session. It was like boring, just the teacher yapping for another 20 minutes or however long the class was. So yeah, I'll put it here. Next up we have language. Language is another one that's like super dependent on the teacher. I will say most of the teachers that I had didn't do the subject justice. A lot of ego in regard to that. They think that their subject's the best. But yeah, a lot of kids just like want to get it done with. I would say it's in the boring without like a substitute. I say like, because that substitute, like the right teacher can make the class fun. But for the most part, it's just boring. Get it over with.
Yeah, unless there's a substitute and they play a movie in class, it's super boring. Okay, now we have literature. This might be a hot take, but I really found it boring. I did not like the selection of books that were given in class. Personally, I'm more into like reading the news, reading politics. The books on like ancient Aristotle and like all this thing, like I just didn't vibe with me. Most people don't like it either, and sometimes depending on the teacher, they can also grade hard as well. This goes in the F tier for me. I didn't like it. Arav, you didn't like it either.
Yeah, putting words in my mouth, but I 100% agree with that. Next up, we have math. Math is like general math. We'll say that's like the calculus, pre-calculus, like type classes, algebra. I really enjoyed those. Me personally, I would put it entertaining. I enjoy going to those classes, learning stuff. But I mean, that is me.
Yeah, sorry to be a little bit of a nerd again, but like math is nice because like the subjects, like the previous years, it all builds on each other. And so it gets fun if you like know what's going on, you put the work in. So I'd say entertaining makes sense.
Yeah, definitely entertaining. Alright, so next up we have phys ed. So we'll kind of do like the physical education part, like running the mile and stuff like that, as like two separate categories. I would say that that's not the fun part of it, but with the right friends, like it is fun just running. Like I remember running the mile with some friends of mine, and it made it a lot better than if it was just like without friends. So I personally would put it at enjoyable with friends. Mehmet, sure you have a different thought.
I do not agree. I hated physical education. Sports maybe was better, but like I injured my leg, I remember, and my teacher still forced me to like run, even though I had like a doctor's note. It was totally like it was antiquated. And there was that other teacher in middle school who like got in trouble for doing things that we can't talk about on here. And so physical education, my opinion, I didn't like it. But like, we could meet in the middle at like boring, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, next up is religion. I never personally took a class in religion because I went to a public school. But I think for most people, studying religion is like pretty not interesting, especially in a classroom setting. And so I'm leaning towards daydreaming. It seems like the type of place where you'd like wander off into different thoughts.
Yeah, it's not very useful at all, especially in like high school and middle school. We did some religion stuff in middle school, and yeah, that was really, really boring. So I'm gonna put it a daydream session. Since it wasn't like hard and stuff, like I think the difference between daydreaming and like Hell on Earth is that you actually have to pay attention in the Hell on Earth classes. But you didn't have to do that with religion. So I'll put it at daydreaming. Alright, next is robotics. Robotics is another one that I personally found really fun. I remember in 8th grade, I never took like a robotics class in high school, but in 8th grade, Matt, you were in that class with me. We were like building robots and stuff, and it was honestly a lot of fun. I put it at entertaining.
Honestly, I'd bump it up to time flies just because students love the hands-on like learning involved with like robotics, and it was super fun for me and you. Mm-hmm. I'm petitioning a bump or a time flies. I really do think it's that entertaining.
Time flies.
Alright, next is science. They're a little bit ambiguous when they say science, like what does it mean? Physics, biochem? I'm just going to put all science together here, and I do think that a general science class is pretty boring for most people. For me, I did like science, and so I think I'd wager it on enjoyable, and if you have friends, it would be, of course, better for you.
Yeah, I would put it at like an average between bio and chem. To put it at boring, but I guess you could put it at enjoyable, because like with the right people, I think it's fun as well. Next, we have Spanish. I took Spanish all 4 years of my high school. I met you did too, and that's another one that's like incredibly boring. It's just a mix of whether to put it at boring without substitute or daydreaming. Matt, where would you put it?
I mean, in our 9th grade Spanish class, people left with like B's and B pluses. It was hard. They didn't like it. It could even be like an F tier, but I feel like Spanish would go into the boring without substitute, because when you have a substitute, they can't speak Spanish and you just like do nothing the whole time.
Yeah, you just watch like Encanto or something. Next up is sports. When I was taking gym classes in like middle school and stuff, I never took like proper gym class in high school. But in middle school, like going out and like playing football or playing basketball, that was like the best time of the day. Like I look forward to that. And 100% for me, it'd go up here in time flies.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Always fun to play sports or like any game. Okay, next up is study hall. I'm pretty sure by this they mean detention. And basically having to go to like an extra class because you messed up. Nobody likes study hall, especially when it's after school and your friends are like going to like sports or whatever. It is definitely F tier. Study hall, not the place you want to be. Get out as fast as possible, or better yet, don't get there in the first place.
100%, yeah. Lastly is technology. I'll put that as like a computer science level class. I found that, like, honestly, high school computer science is pretty, like, mid. College gets so much better. But high school computer science classes I find it enjoyable with friends, because you can play video games on the computers. That's what made classes so much fun for me. So I picked up here. Enjoyable with friends.
Look, every kid who ever took a computer science class knows that as soon as you finish the 20-minute assignment, you play games for the rest of the time. That's just like a given.
Yeah, we played Minecraft on the school computers. Best time of the day.
Oh, those days. Alright guys, that's the tier list for this video. I hope, whether you're going into high school or in high school already, this helps you understand which classes you should look forward to and which ones you should maybe find something entertaining about them to mourn over. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, please also subscribe, and we will see you next video. Bye guys!